Welcome back to the Theory Expo. We're here to talk about episode 4 of Marvel Studios' Secret Invasion. I think it was titled Beloved. We begin with the episode back at the compound with Gaia in scroll form laid out after being shot by Gravik in the last episode. Then there's like a mini flashback within that time period of Gaia while she was still getting the passcode to call off that missile strike. Also going back to the fracking pod of Dr. Rosa and getting the info she needed to operate the machine that makes herself into a super scroll. We come back and we see that extremist that she got going to work as she morphs back into human form and comes back to life. And next we have a Fury flashback, this time of 2012, right after the Avengers Battle of New York. Pretty dope, right? Hey, this was prime Fury. This was prime Fury. This was
all his splendor.
All his splendor. This is right after the battle. After the battle, we see Fury in Paris where he has a romantic date with Priscilla. This is a defining moment as she shares one of Ryan Howard's most emphatic short poems called The Last Fragment. She reads some of her favorite lines, and it made me laugh because of past combo we had about the word beloved. That's an off-camera conversation, but it had me dying. I mean, it was a great moment, but it had me dying just off a conversation we had about beloved. We then come back to present day, and Priscilla/Vera meets Skrull Rhodey in a church. She asks him about getting Fury fired, and Rhodey tells her that he fired him himself. She questions how that figures into Gravik's plan, but no dice on those details. Skrull Rhodey is rather determined in his stance that Fury will be killed, either him or Priscilla. She tries to convince him not to go ahead with the plan, as Fury is not his old self, claiming he is weak and defeated ever since the blip and is no threat to Gravik's plan. Rhodey lays out his words clearly. He is going to kill Fury regardless. Meanwhile, Fury's been listening the entire time. We next move to Gaia and Talos on the park bench and discuss what's next. She seems to be on the side, but now asks her father about his plans to give the Skrulls a home. Taylor explains that after rebuking the Ursurgency, Fury and he will demand the POTUS to give refuge to the Skrull people. The fact that they saved Earth from World War III should be enough, as he thinks. He explained that the Skrull people do not have leverage, don't have a home. They must confront reality and live in the skin of humans. Bottom line is that they will be safe. Gaia calls him delusional, walks away. To be clear, it was a trash plan, in my opinion. We go back to the flat. Fury makes some tea, then confronts Priscilla about her plan to kill him when she comes back home. He calls her the greatest mistake of his life. But even so, he would do it all over. He asks why she chose the human shell that she's using. She tells him the story of Dr. Priscilla Davis, the dead human whose skin Fury has taken. Vera chose Priscilla specifically to get close to Fury. And they shoot at each other at the same time, but they both miss on purpose. Fury then leaves. We move on to the hotel where female Skrull is taking a shower. As she wipes the steam off the mirror, she morphs into Rhodey, confirming what we already. Skrull Rhodey walks out fully dressed and sees Fury in his living quarters sipping that yak. The yak had a liquid tracer in it, by the way, so Fury can track Skrull Rhodey whereabouts going forward. Fury tells him again that the Skrulls are in the U.S. government. Rhodey brushes off, and after some verbal sparring, Skrody, as I'm calling him, Skrull Rhodey, puts on the video where Gravik gas Fury kills Marie on camera. Fury falls back, leaves the room. Lastly, the president lands in London and his convoy heads toward a meeting with the British PM. This is a setup as Gravik and his team, poised as Russians, are waiting up ahead to intercept him. Skrull Rhodey informs Gravik about the location of the president. The attack is on, with rocket launchers and on. Talos and Fury show up to get the POTUS out. Talos gets shot while trying to break the window and changes into Skrull form. The soldier comes to help and walk Talos to safety, but it turns out to be Gravik, and he stabs Talos. Fury shoots his face off. The extremist kicks in. He Terminator 2s his face back, and he leaves. Fury feels like he has to decide between getting the president or Talos to safety, but not both. And he chooses the POTUS, leaving Talos laying on the ground, and he drives off. First of all, let's ask, before we get into the question part of it, like your thoughts on the episode and like anything you want to say before we get into these questions, right? Like it was like a backstory to Fury, but like especially that the stuff between him and his wife. I thought they did that well. I didn't even like that part.
No, I like
that stuff. It was like oh no, this was after how they portrayed the relationship, and they gave us kind of like a backstory to it, and like really a deep, like an emotional backstory to the relationship. But then her Fury even asking her like, why did you chose this shell? And she had a really dope kind of story about why she chose that skin. But it's kind of like me asking the same question I asked last episode, but more context now. Do you think his wife, Priscilla Vera, we want to call her, do you think she was genuine the entire time? Do you think she was working Fury the entire time? Or do you think it was maybe a little bit of both?
I'm going to go with a little bit of both. Let me, so I'm going to dig up a little bit of, I guess I'm going to just use the context of it, right? About in terms of the blip and all that. So what I'm thinking is it basically like, okay, her mission was always to play this guy, right? To basically
it do seem that way, right?
Yeah, she was like a plant, basically, right? She was somebody that can get close to Fury, they can keep tabs on Fury when the time was right. If things wasn't going the way that the Skrulls wanted it to go, they can enact some type of plan, which goes to show you, man, the Skrulls, hey man, the Kree was right, bro. Kree had I ain't gonna say they was, in terms of like trying to like genocide.
And what they were saying about the but in terms like Ronan probably wasn't right. But John Rogg and them,
they had a point like, hey man, you need to watch the Skrulls. That's what they do. They infiltrate governments and they take over. Like, I think we're seeing that now is that they always had a plan to sort of like, okay, they used Fury. Fury made a promise and they teamed up with Fury, but it was always like, we always got a plan just in case it don't work out with Fury. Where I'm going with that is, I think that was the plan, but the mission was prolonged so much by an unexpected calamity like the blip or the snap that 10-year stretch on top of her initial mission. Like, because you got to think, it was 2012. Whatever, they don't have a planet at that point by then, right? They're already on the planet. What, count up the years? What is it?
Like in 2015, sort of like 17 years or something like that. Yeah,
it's been like 17 years. So point I'm making is, I think the expectation was in about 20 years we're going to enact our little plan. Like whatever our plan is, it's going to go into action. She didn't count on him getting blipped out or snapped out of existence, then disappeared for another 5 years on top of the 5 years it took for him to get back. So it's kind of like, that coupled with she probably did have some feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Just, she did really fall in love with this guy, changed her form so it would get his attention. But I think it got to a point where it was like she sort of, I want to say she went soft, but she kind of like, she got to the point where it's like, oh damn, now I got to do this. Like now I got to take him out. Now
it got beyond the mission. And it's kind of the way you can hear that in her and saying like, yo, he old, he's not a threat. We beyond the mission now, right?
Yeah.
And there's probably a moment, it's just like in ours, like the youth tend to, because those youth don't know a world. They don't really know a world that was their own ever, right? Like Talos may know, Priscilla may know, right? But they don't know, like Gaia don't know. She was a little kid. She was up on she was on the little ship. Like, she was too little to ever remember like being in my own skin. Right?
Skrullos,
yeah. Like she wasn't on Skrullos, right? She wasn't there. Like she was a baby on Skrullos.
Gravik lost his parents.
Yeah. Like
all they know is the war.
Yeah, they might have been trying to go to different places, but they just know that. They don't know like our own world per se. They just know being refugees wherever they go. Right. And like now they got that spirit without probably even knowing all that entail, but they ready to go, right? They ready to go. Where like you say, like some of the older people, because even Gravik had to come in with the council, like, yo, get off your ass. You basically had to tell, like, y'all been here, like y'all in here, like comfortable. Like y'all I have to remind y'all what this is about. I was like, cool, like we can do this, we can do that. Like I have to remind y'all what it's about. Yeah, so Priscilla seemed like over that time.
Yeah, I think
it got beyond the mission.
She got a little too comfortable. She got so used to being like his wife, but also his wife in waiting. Then she was a widow. Of course, she can never be human, but add that to the fact that she did make promises to this woman. She did make a promise to this woman. And I think it just got to the point where, it was like she got to a point where the day that she never thought would come, that finally came. And it was after all this turmoil, after all this trauma, this grief of losing this guy, basically twice. She's just like, damn, now I gotta, on top of all this, I gotta kill this guy. I think she would have got him out of there had they had the battle in New York never happened and they didn't see the Avengers. They probably would have got him out of there around that time before they saw, oh damn, wait a minute, hold on. There's an Iron Man, there's a Thor, there's a Cap back. Like Hulk. We got a chip. Yes, there's a Hulk, and this Hulk, and this like the real Hulk.
Like you say, in all his splendor. This is Hulk in all his
splendor. You know what I mean? Where he like, so had they I think had they sort of activated her at that time, being the sleeper, little sleeper agent she is, they would have had a better chance at her actually pulling the trigger. But adding another 10 years on top of all that, I think is what made it hard for her to pull that trigger.
I'll add this too to that because she actually said it at the end. Yeah. She ultimately got to live a whole life. Yeah. Right. Like, so there's another element you had there. Like she picked a person, like she got to be somebody's daughter.
No.
Right. She got to be somebody's wife. And then she went back to the poem, like, what you want? Basically, like Theory asked, like, what did you want out of all this? And she said, did you get what you wanted? Like, yeah, to be beloved. Like it got beyond the mission.
Uh-huh.
It got beyond the mission. Like, yo, this cell that I took, like everybody talking about being in their own skin. And like, then she asked him, had I been in my own skin, would you have felt the same?
Damn, what do you say?
Shit, I guess I'll never know. He ain't said that way, but it was like,
I guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know. Right. Like, because there's still that at its core. Like, had I been myself, right? Like they want to be themselves. And she asked him straight out, like, what we had. Yeah. So I'm with you. I think it's both. I think she was playing him in the beginning, right? She was getting close, but she picked the wrong one to get close because that was that thing with Theory. Like she studied him well. My line in the beginning when we start watching the show that like he probably him and Sonya got this little action and all that. Now, Priscilla is Fury flavor.
Yeah.
Priscilla Fury flavor.
Yeah, Fury had a scroll wife, you know what I mean, who chose the form that he liked,
Yeah, that she knew, like let me study him a little bit. And I found out I wonder if the scroll. I'm trying to think like because I'll be liking different things. So I'm like, I wonder if my scroll wife, like what she would pick, like, man, you figured it out. Like, would she be super thick or would she be like slim with this? Like, I don't know what she would pick because I change every day. But so yeah, I agree with you on that one that it was a little bit of both. One thing I was going to ask you about the beginning of the episode, because we talked about this last episode. I felt like they confirmed it. I think they confirmed what we insinuated. But did they confirm that Gaia was a plant?
Yeah, I felt like on the conversation she had with her with Talos on the bench, right? When he was like, when he was apologizing, it sounded like he was apologizing.
I should never put you up to this.
He was he planted her. Even though that was kind of sloppy on the writing part, because they made it weird. Like, I guess she was in so deep, that she didn't even know about her mom. Like, you know what I mean? She was like,
yeah, that's like the little line. Like, I mean to cut you, but like to your point about being so deep, like was she so deep that when her mom passed, she didn't know what happened, or is that connection that they got at the beginning of when we saw is when she became a turncoat? I don't believe that to be the case. I feel like she was a plant the entire. I feel like they kind of let us know. But she just
at first I thought she was. I thought it was the other way, like you said.
Yeah.
And then this episode changed my mind. I was like, oh no, he planted her from the beginning. That was the whole point, is that he planted her in that little meeting they had in the sewer or whatever, or wherever they was at, the little underground area. That was kind of like a little debrief. Like we ain't spoken years. You've been undercover for all these years, to the point where Fury didn't even know. Like nobody knew. Like he put her in there without Fury.
Maria didn't know.
Maria was like, oh, she looked familiar. Like, oh. But yeah, I think you're right. I think they confirmed this episode that she always been a plant.
It was probably more like a Hank Pym, Hope Pym situation, right? Yeah. Where like they didn't get along, but Hope was willing because she could see the threat that Darren was getting close, and
that's true.
Probably that's kind of how this situation was. Like,
I think that was one of the things that was confirmed. They had the conversation on the bench, but you're right, man. You said in your recap, that was a trash plan, bro. That was that plan was trash, man. He like, all right, I'll tell you what, we're gonna go to the, like, bro, you can't, you just knew after the first word, it was like you just knew like he not gonna convince her to,
bro. That's an example, a real life example, and I've had to learn this. why you have to have young people in your life. Right. So that we all, like and blend, like you got to have we always talk about diversity, but really you should have all different kind of people, but you got to have an age disparity in the people that you talk to. Right. Because that's an old way of thinking right there.
Yeah.
That's like, look, that's the path of least resistance. I figure they go like, you don't even got the energy to muster up something that's going to require maybe even some sacrifice.
You can't even galvanize somebody like that because you just so beaten down. And Talos literally and figuratively is beaten down.
He whooped.
In this episode, he
tired. That boy tired.
When he's beating on that window,
he didn't have it. He was left hand punching like he was.
He Australian. Crikey.
Mate, his window's tough, mate. He could do none
I don't know. Theory, help me. Like, damn, Theory, just shoot the window. At least, like, put 2 in the window, bro.
Yeah, he cracked it already.
Like, you think Talos is done? You think he gone?
No. So I guess I'll go to that question.
Yeah. Because she got up. She got up in the beginning.
That's my point. So, I got this just a note. I believe we had 3 show-ending deaths where the character, to me, is not really dead. Because I got Maria Hill being in the Marvels. Like we only have 4 episodes
in it, right?
We only didn't have 4 episodes, and we got 3 deaths. So 2 of we know 1 confirmed. Not again, Maria's not confirmed. In my mind, she's not dead because I got her in the Marvels. But right now, she did. But that's 3 ending episodes where somebody is dead, right? I don't got Talos as being dead. Right?
No,
I don't got Talos as being dead.
But I do got Maria being dead.
Okay.
The only reason I say that is because Marvel, they make sure they show you right away, like, oh no, we just playing. Like literally, the opening of the episode is her coming back, them showing you how she did it. That she got some extremists from the lab. I think Talos is alive too. The episode is gonna open up. Talos getting up.
Because the way they forecasted, right? Because how Fury kept looking back and like trying to decide what he was going to do, right? They forecast because it's gonna be a conflict. Yo, why didn't you you didn't grab me? Well, I had to, Nick, motherfucker, I had to grab him, and whatever his reason is going to be, but it's gonna be that, right? Like I had to make a decision, like I had to get the president. And it's gonna be that's gonna be a conflict. But back to Maria, like, what if it's like poetry? I think it's gonna be like poetry, right? I think it's gonna be like poetry. It's gonna rhyme. They thought Fury was dead.
Yeah,
Winter Soldier.
And
then they rolled him out.
That's true.
I got it being like Fury. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I got it being like poetry. It might
that,
not be at all. Maria might be 100% gone.
But it seemed like they got a contingency already for like when they get shot. They it's almost like plus it go into what I'm gonna get to a little bit later. It seemed like it's all like the more I see Fury getting bagged on and just beaten down, the more I start to think like, man, he planned this from the beginning. Like he been planning this shit, man. This whole idea of like I'm beaten down and he want that to be the image, right? And I think him faking her. So I can that kind of plays into my theory on that is Maria's not dead, and I think that's part of his plan. Like I gotta make it like I'm just failing miserably.
Sell it.
I gotta sell it, and what better way to do that than let her get, like you mean tell me she ain't had no vest on or nothing, like she just was out there in the field with nothing on, no Kevlar, no nothing.
What was it line? So I can't do my line to be funny, but what did he say when he showed his eye like, when Soldier gotta keep it one step ahead, and he flipped the patch.
That's my thing. Yeah, she even said in the chess game, like the Fury I know will be one, and he in this whole thing, he kind of where I feel like the tale was like when old girl was like, the Fury I know would have saw my guys coming a mile away, and he like, man, I'll let your guys, I'll let them pick me up.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think they're gonna play. I mean, granted, they could be playing Fury, man. Like they could be completely deconstructing this character, tearing him down, and just whatever. But part of me is thinking at the end he gonna be like, "This shit since I got off the ship." What Denzel saying training day? I've been planning it all week. I've been planning it all week, son. Yeah,
because like to your point, if he's actually flipping, you always got to be. I keep one eye open. You got to keep both eyes on me. Whatever his line was. Even in the second line of using this one, even when I'm out, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like Fury might be up there on some, I'm just making sure what happened right then don't happen again. Like, I'm gonna put all my, instead of being like I'm downtrodden and beat up about the blip. So when you went back up and like they showed us at the end of Far From Home, just that the third, like he had a whole nation of Skrulls working with him. Stuff they showing us in the Marvel's trailer, like Fury, right? Like you say, he might be flipping the script on all of them, and really was like, no, I'm up here so that what happened with Thanos when the Black Order showed up, I ain't relying on no superheroes. This ain't gonna never. I'm gonna be early.
Yeah,
like I may have to go get
Accords gonna take away my team. Yeah,
no, we ain't doing that. Only thing different I can see is not being downtrodden about it. Even if he was down bad about it, but it was more like energy. Like I'm gonna go up there. We gonna create this base. We gonna put a suit of armor around the world. Only couldn't do it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be ready next time. And that's probably, like you say, in terms of flipping the script. I'm just kind of piggyback what you said. Yeah. I'm gonna be early. Fury might be up there to be early. He put all his energy into being early. So while we watching it, like you say, the deconstruction, hopefully that's what it was. It ain't. That's what he.
But
we
haven't really seen that. Do you? Like I was gonna ask you, do you think that he broke him? Like, have you seen that in these 4 episodes? Have we really seen him?
It don't make sense why he broke it.
We've never seen a broken moment.
He got his wife. Yeah. Like one of my things was that maybe Gravik was like his stepchild, right? But like I don't think that was the case. So I can see like if he had like again, I don't want to bring it up, but like Luke and Ben Solo, like that kind of situation. But that's not what this is. Unless episode 5 was one of those flashbacks that become that Luke and Ben Solo again, right? But this don't seem like that. Because all the young people are like Gravik. It's the young people that are like that.
Yeah.
This ain't the older generation. This ain't Thanos people. It's the younger generation that feel this way about I want to be in my own skin. It's a youth move. Yeah, man. You got me. You swaying me on that one. Not swaying me. I think it's very logic. Like Fury might be giving the impression of that, or that's what they think. But that's not what Fury. Like I know I'm putting a suit of, like, for lack of better words, I'm up here to put a suit of armor around the world. All that stuff I was doing, being all beloved, shit didn't matter. Beloved got me snapped.
That's true. You come back with a different perspective after getting blipped back into existence. You're like,
yeah,
like, you know what? Beloved. Not just rematerialized, man. What you think this is? Like, yeah, come on now. Nah, that's a good point, man. That'll change you, bro. That'll make you, you be like, yeah, maybe I got too comfortable last time. Because really, like, he met her after the Battle of New York. That was a major event. The only reason he wasn't in the, he had to come back with S.H.I.E.L.D. and to help him in Ultron. But you gotta think about that Battle of New York, man. When he met her in that little diner or whatever, they had just saved the world. An alien invasion that wasn't Skrull. And ain't getting no help from at least we ain't see on screen. Maybe they'll have another flashback. They ain't really getting no help from the Skrulls. They probably did, but I'm just, what I mean? This was like a battle.
Where was your Super Skrull ass?
Exactly. Where was that shit at when the Chitauri came through the when the Chitauri was coming down on skyscrapers and stuff? Where was y'all at?
Where was you at?
I kind of look like one of them Chitauri too, man.
Yeah.
Where was y'all at with Thanos, man? Why y'all ain't telling me about Thanos?
Y'all been out here.
Where was your spot network at then?
And ain't none of y'all know about Thanos?
That would have been my first question as Fury. Like, what y'all gonna tell me about Thanos? Chitauri? Worms? Worms, nigga? Worms. Big ass worms flying in the air. You ain't gonna tell me?
The minute we ever had a conversation about video games, and I told you about the Atari, you should have been like, that sound like the Chitauri. Chitauri. Oh, yeah.
Did you say Chitauri?
No, I said Atari. Y'all got those here? Yeah. They fight and they do this. Oh, that's okay.
That's an army.
Some shit called the Chitauri.
It's called Chitauri.
And if we blow up the mothership, they all die. So be ready for that. We need some weapons for that. Right? Like none of that.
Then you something.
None of that.
They had to know about Thanos. Like he been catching bodies for a minute. He been out there in the galactic, public eye for a minute. He
was hand to hand too.
Yeah, he was. Because think about it. Let's add up the years. Shit, when he got Gamora, that was in the middle of the Kree War. The Kree.
Yeah, that was around then. That was around then.
was probably coming down around that time. So come on now, don't do that. You know, like where
was
y'all at? Where was y'all at? But but yeah, man, I just think that what we seeing is we kind of seeing Fury behind the scenes. We ain't saw no moments yet where he done cried in the darkness, and you know what I mean. He just he got these back and forths with Talos. Obviously, he kind of letting it be known that the Talos' words getting to him a little bit. But I don't know, man. I just ain't sold on this whole Fury downtrodden.
Only reason he came down is to uncover the plot. And maybe one of the earliest things that we would have seen that happen is in that first episode when he beamed down. Then all of a sudden he went into a fake limp.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that looked like a fake limp. So he
went into like, okay, I'm doing this right now. Like I gotta sell something.
Yeah, let me sell something. And then we got another sign in this episode when he come with the Pappy Van Winkle, which was this is a weird scene for me for different reasons. First of all, Skull Rhodey is in the shower, and I'm looking at the movements. I'm like, because we ain't know Skull Rhodey was a female. We had no idea it was a woman. It was a female.
Yeah,
female Skrull. But I'm looking at I'm like, without her having to wipe the mirror, I knew that was Skull Rhodey in the shot. Like I knew, even though it was a woman, I'm like,
it took me a rewind to know it was like.
I was like, that's gonna be Skull Rhodey.
Yeah,
and so we find out Skull Rhodey is a female Skrull, and now kind of explain like the sassiness a little bit. If that
I was about to say,
if that makes sense. Like
I was about to point out to Don, like you brought that up in the second episode or whatever that episode when they had to he was like, that don't like we know it's a Skrull, but then you extra with it like, man, he don't talk like that. So shout out to Don Cheadle to being able to differentiate himself as an actor, being able to differentiate not only to be able to differentiate like somebody just taking his likeness, but like somebody taking the extraness of his likeness, because there was some extra in there that he's been with. You know, even when he was talking to Priscilla, like, you better do this. You know what I'm saying? Like some of that action. So like, there's some, there's some feminine in there, right? There's some feminine, difference between man and woman, right? But like he threw that in there in his, I feel like to me, he threw that in his acting job to sell it, like, as opposed to just being like, oh, that's the giveaway. It's actually showing that like, no, this is their differences, and I'm gonna put that in how I act out this difference between the Rhodey, and
it's a good villain too, by the way.
The Skrull Rhodey.
I like.
He feel like a problem.
I like Skrull Rhodey. Yeah, Skrull Rhodey is like
a cunning.
This a good. I guess you would call him like a sub boss. Like I like him as second in command. What it seemed like. This seemed like he the second. Second in command.
Probably one of those second in commands that got his own faction.
They got his own faction. They got his own plans.
We'll get there.
That we probably gonna get. Yeah. He might. You're right though. He might.
Like you dealing with me.
She might survive this. We'll see. We got 2 more episodes to go. But Fury again. This is Fury slowly coming back. This is like the comeback for Fury, right? Where he going to his shtick, which is like. And plus it's Samuel L. Jackson's acting. Like Samuel L. Jackson got this shtick where he talking to you, but he really talking to you a certain way. You know what I mean? Like he sit down like, hey, I got the best bottle right here. I mean, should I be looking for poison? I mean, hey, it's up to Slappy Van Winkle. I know it's Pappy, but he went Slappy with it.
My bad. I threw a little bit of Pappy Van Winkle. My bad.
Slappy Van Winkle. There you go. He like, So that's he going to his Samuel L. Jackson / Nick Fury shtick where he like, hey, have a drink if you want, But I know one thing. If you waste a drop of that ass, he going to this whole like, which is kind of weird to me. Like, man, what? Like, all right, okay, but it was kind of his way of seeing like once and for all. He heard her over the phone already. He heard the conversation already. That was like, I like that scene though, because it's his way of confirming it once and for all. Like, okay, you are a Skrull, but we find out he used the Pappy Van Winkle. He got the liquid tracer in there, So I like this scene, man. I like this scene. What did you think of that though? What did you take away from that? Just with this particular Skrull having a sort of just like falling for that trap. Like what did you think of that?
I think that and it could be Don, like you said, it could be Don Cheadle doing. I know we give Rhodey a tough time, but it could be Don Cheadle just playing that like this person obviously don't have an inkling that Fury done figured him out. Figured her out, has figured her out a long time ago. I mean, you called it. Like, you called it in a way. Shout out to you, because you called it in a way I don't even know we talked about. I know we texted, and I felt like we talked about it, but it might have been an episode we couldn't record together.
Yeah.
Where you called it out like, Brody don't, and I brushed it off like, they going at each other. Like, this is really like they both, like, we know this a scroll, but like they playing each other. Like, Fury don't do that and blah. But I felt like this now, knowing we know now, this has been an opportunity for Fury to really test the boundaries of this person. Like, this person don't have a clue. Like, I got this.
She
don't have a clue.
She's very arrogant with it. Like, she's so arrogant that she just don't have no clue that she been made. Like,
which may tell the tale of, because I even like when Priscilla keep talking to this person. I want to get back to that scene in particular, so don't let me go too far off topic. But even when Priscilla / Vera keep talking to this person, saying, because that church scene was dope too. That let you know this person a problem.
Thorough,
like, this.
He said, hey, pick up. It's one bullet. Pick it. Who the bullet going to? Like he let her know
you might get this.
Y'all disposable, both of y'all.
Yeah.
You disposable too. You either got two choices. You shoot yourself or shoot him.
One of y'all getting this, right?
One of y'all getting this.
So that was like an intense scene. And shout out to that. I don't know her name, the actress playing
Priscilla.
Priscilla. They both the same name. I was throwing me off in the beginning. Like,
they did throw me off. Yeah.
I've been calling her Fury this entire time. Right. But shout out to the person playing Priscilla, because like the way they played that scene, but like this person, I believe, is so locked in because they have their own plan. I don't think they're like they rolling with Gravik because Gravik making noise, but I think they got their own agenda, so to speak, that they're trying to do. Right. So I think in that, on top of the ego, the sassiness, the hubris that this person has, is blind them to the fact that they don't know Fury to figure her out. Fury figured that out.
Now, do you think that she ain't figured it out as before he break in? You saying before he break in, or because you don't think by the end of the conversation she had figured out that she was made?
Nope. And I'm gonna tell you why. When she was sitting in that damn truck, when all the shit was going off, they flashed through and she just still there chilling.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. She ain't even. You're right.
Do all what they do.
You're right. Yep. She didn't even say like I've been made. You're right. You're right. She would have told him. You're right about that. I didn't even think about that. Damn.
Yeah.
She would have said it. Like, she would have told Gravik like, "Hey, Fury made me." Man, wow, the hubris.
Yeah.
The hubris, boy.
Yeah, the hubris this person has. Like, this person like is so locked into whatever they're looking to do.
I guess when you're talking to the president, you would be like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like, told him you need a minute.
You stunting on the other scrolls at that point. I'm talking to the leader of the free world. What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
What did y'all do today?
I'm here.
I'm basically running the day. I'm running the day to day for the. I report to the president. I tell him what's going on. What are y'all doing?
She said that like this person, the president don't know such and such. If I don't remember that line, it was in the show. He was like, they were like, yo, whatever the president don't such and such. If I don't put it on the agenda, if I don't tell,
hey, she was so smug that she said, yeah, you're right. She said to Navarre like, oh, how did that happen? When he was like, he was like, Fury's been fired. And he like, oh, how did that happen? She like, I don't know. He like, oh, that was me. President don't know. He scarred. Like, she almost was insulted that she would suggest that the president did it. Like, man, president don't know what the hell going on. I'll fire Fury. Like, she's so braggadocious with it.
FedEx.
Yeah, so you're right, man. She has no idea.
Yeah, she's so locked in. She don't know that she made. She don't
showed him the video and everything. Like, is this you or is this you? Like,
I got one underlying thing I got to ask you about, because we've always talked about the president, and it made me think Thunderbolt Ross is going to be the MCU president.
Yeah.
Right. So is this an indicator that this president is not going to make it, or is a scroll, but somehow him and his fracking pod don't make it? He's not going to make it.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. Like,
is it scroll make it, or just not gonna make it altogether?
That's my and that's why they go back to my original theory I said last week, is that I think the president's a scroll, and the reason is because of that reason is Harrison Ford Thunderbolt is gonna be the president. So we got to get there, and they're not. It's not like they're talking about your re-election is coming up, sir. Like,
that's what I was going to ask. Like,
I don't think he's going to make it, and that's what I'm saying. I think he might be a scroll of another faction, and it might be the Indian chicks fact, where it was like we wanted to make
live like we here,
we got people in place. You know what I mean? And it's because I always said, like, why is he so? We talked about it. Why is he so angry about Fury being out of space? It's like, did he put Fury there as a scroll? Did he put Fury there, and that, like, that was their deal? Like, you, all right, I believe in you. We'll wait. You need to be up in space doing whatever you're doing, And you brought up some good points. Like, it could just, he want that suit of armor around the Earth. But going back to the president, yeah, we know this president probably is not gonna make it out of the show. Damn. Like, I was watching this episode thinking, like, watching Talos beat on the window, like, I don't know why you're doing that. Wow. Hey, bro. You're right, man. Beating on the windows, wild. Pause. I was watching them, try to get him out of there, and I'm like,
we're wasting our time.
Yeah, wasting your time. So yeah, I agree. I see what you're saying, man. So that would be my guess, is that he's probably a scroll, and he's probably of another faction. But that would be my official guess, man. Is that this president probably not gonna make it out.
Yeah, I don't think
we're gonna get another president. We're gonna get another president.
I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna go back to the cartoon, and I'm not gonna go on too long. In the Earth's Mightiest Hero cartoon, Cap got. I'm watching. Cap got. My bad. I don't want. I mean, it ain't spoiling.
No.
I done spoiled mad parts.
No. I'm still watching.
Cap got a sim like they had, that was the first. That was one, like, that's how they infiltrated the Avengers, right? Before where Cap caught it, and that's why I'm gonna get to the president. Cap got a sim, and then they couldn't. They was using Cap to try to figure out how they can break the human race. They kind of even more backstory before I get to that point. We talked about this last episode about Fantastic Four, and I can't believe I didn't bring this up. That the reason they were looking for other planets, because it was written and it happened. So it made them feel like anything that was written they can do. It was written that Galactus was going to consume their planet. And he consumed Skrulls. We were talking about the Fantastic Four and all that. So he did. It was written and he did. So it was also written that Earth was going to be their planet, right? Wow. They were going to, that was going to happen. So that happened. It's like, oh shit, the scriptures are real. So we're going to follow what the scriptures say. So they always said it was written, like everything was written, right? So they came to Earth, and Earth was going to be part of it was written. But when they assimilated Cap, the thing that they were using him for was trying to see how they can make human. They picked the wrong human because he was a super soldier and a soldier, right? Like Soldier 1 and then a super soldier. They were trying to feel like how they can make humanity break. And they couldn't break Cap, right? Torture, anything, it couldn't break him. Damn, we've been doing this for 3 Earth months, and he's still doing push-ups. He doing pull-ups. We couldn't do it. So obviously Cap was going to escape. But one thing, what they saw, that when he escaped, it was like, damn, everybody listen to Cap. If Cap say it, like, Cap had that ability to be a leader. So this is what we going to do. Like, okay, Cap escaped, he coming. So what's what we going to do? We're going to get Cap to tell the human race to lay down for the Scrolls. And then they had this whole thing where Cap got up and was like, Scrolls are coming. Hey, everybody do this and do, like, just we're kind of like what Gravik was saying, like, hey, humanity is destroying themselves. We're destroying ourselves. The scroll are going to save us from destroying humanity, because that's what we're doing to ourselves. Boom, boom, boom. Cap show back with other people that got assimilated. They defeat the Scrolls, but there was long-term damage because Cap got in front of the cameras and stuff. So then, like, they had a whole nother episode that actually included Spider-Man. It was a pretty cool episode.
I can't wait to watch this.
Along came with Spidey, where like the public hated Cap because he was on camera. They could, like, they saw it on TV, and J. Jonah Jameson writing all these articles like, J. Jonah Jameson is.
Man, MCU missed the opportunity, bro.
He doing all that. So, like, not only was he on TV, but he got the written. This was because I think the show came out when newspapers were still popping right before sometime in like 2006, 2007. When you still had newspapers. Yeah. I say all that to say, fast forward to so that Cap had to deal with that. Now, obviously, they saved some people, and then Cap was going to be like, okay, we do understand that was a Skrull alien Cap. We good to go. J. Jonah Jameson wrote a little nice puff piece. Cap moved on. But my point is about this president and the thing. I actually do think this is the real president, but I think he's not gonna make it because he's gonna catch the fallout of the Skrull invasion. Like Cap did. So even if he is a Skrull, even if he's a Skrull, like, we can't believe you.
Yeah.
Scroll, like, how do we know that was you that was doing this? Or how do you know that was you that was doing that? Or maybe even with this, somebody might take him because he might, like, we don't know if Fury gonna make it off with the president.
He's gonna be impeached.
Get away. Like, no, that's how Thunderbolt Ross is gonna become the president because, like, yo, you the president with the Skrull. So if he is a Skrull,
that makes
so before I say I think he is or he ain't, if he could be a Skrull, and then he come out and say, hey, I wasn't a Skrull, like that was him. Like, you told us to go ahead and lay our million strong. We're going to do this. We can't survive, and we need the Skrulls. Something to that nature, kind of what happened to Cap. So that was a long-winded way of saying how we going to get Thunderbolt Ross is that he going to win it because this guy can't make it because either he was a Skrull and he couldn't outlast that, or he was the president when we had a Skrull invasion.
But yeah, so just to wrap up this episode, I don't know if you had any more questions.
Yeah, I do. I got one.
Okay, what's your next question?
Just one more. Could the female Skrull who's morphed in the Rhodey possibly be Taylor's wife, or do you have a theory?
Ooh. Yeah, it's not his wife.
Anyway, so like,
it's not his wife.
Might not be her, or not even a possibility.
It's not. I would have said that either way but I did just before we got on, kind of I did see that actress. I don't think it's his wife. And I think when they showed her on screen, it didn't really look like the same. That would have been that would have been wild.
Because it was so quick, right? I was like,
yeah.
You keep saying the wife, that's kind of a pivotal moment, but
more than she's been undercover, whoever this person is, though, this Skrull, whoever the Skrull is, they've been undercover a long time. And by the way, let's just get into it, because I'll answer that question and say, no, I don't think that's his wife.
Now that guy is a super Skrull. She's a super Skrull, right? She's got the extremists at the very least. Because we saw, even just the ad, we saw in the trailer, so it ain't really too much to talk about. But we saw Gravik use the Groot arm to stretch to crush somebody, right?
Crush the dude, yeah.
So now Gravik is a super Skrull. Are we leading up to the point now? Is it now obvious that the final showdown will be between her and Gravik?
Yeah, for obvious reasons too, right? I mean,
yeah.
Her mom died apparently off of Gravik. Maybe I don't know if he pulled the trigger or nothing like that, but her mom died. Her mission always been to sort of stop Gravik. She the only other super Skrull, it seemed like. So, well, not the only one, but she's a super Skrull who's on the opposite side. She's the only one. Yeah. The rest of the team didn't get the powers. Her dad don't have the powers. She's the only one that would seem to be able to stop Gravik at this point. So, and I think, it makes sense that she would be the hero of the show.
Like, she would be the one to be able to stop Gravik.
Yeah.
From a super Skrull perspective, without having to bring in an Avenger in. Because Carol ain't showing up without it being
Carol should show up, but she's not showing up. And the Kree not showing up
right now.
Yeah.
She can end all this, right? She can end all this.
Let me ask you. But hold on now. See, this is what we mean about the timelines. Hold on, B. Now, is she on Earth though? Because didn't she get zapped didn't she get teleported with
Yeah, we don't know, man. I was gonna ask.
That's what I'm saying, bro. She's technically supposed to be on Earth right now, but whatever, man.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know because of their own production, just the Marvel studio. Because the stupidest thing, and I'm gonna say it off the top, and I hope it's not the case, but the stupidest thing will be if the Marvels is before this.
Oh my God!
You get what I'm saying?
Would that surprise you though? Because when was the Marvel supposed to? When the Marvel supposed to already be out? Right now,
supposed to come out right now.
It wouldn't shock.
Or already showed up, or something of that nature. They
pushed it back. That's not the case.
Yeah. They pushed it back. So I don't know if it was going to show up before Fury, or was Furies get pushed back. So if the Secret Invasion, I can't remember. They never really had an official date for the start of Secret Invasion. They just okay, it's coming out. So I don't know, but that would be that would be pretty stupid if timeline is the Marvels is before this right now.
Wow. Yeah, I hope not.
Because we haven't even seen that part in the what we haven't seen yet is a scene that we saw in the trailer where Gaia sees all the fracking pods. She walked into that room and it was just fracking pod up. It was like a whole room of just pods.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you about that. Let me ask you about that. Okay, and that'd be my piggybacking off your question. In this final showdown, or before this final showdown, do you think it's gonna come down? Is Gaia gonna have to stop this Super Skrull invasion, man? Because that's really what this is about.
Yeah, she's gonna destroy the machine.
Yeah, you think she's gonna take out other Skrulls, or she's just gonna somehow strip them of their power?
I actually think only so. To this two parts. So maybe this kind of answer the question in two ways, or answer both questions, right? So in my thought, because some things have been kind of like too on the nose and too like up front, right? Like we knew Gaia was gonna come back because he shot her and left.
Yeah,
like with the other dude, they threw the body away, they did all this and all that, right? Like so, like
just for some reason he's just leaving.
Shows do that, movies do that. We know,
right.
We know. So, but yes, it's always some bullshit, but they did it.
They did it. Yeah.
I think that the two on the nose part is that, or not, I don't call it two on the nose, but what I think is what's going to happen. I think that Gravik is the only one who's done that.
Okay.
Remember, they couldn't figure it out, and he must have just took the chance.
Yeah,
the doctor was kind of like, we were trying to whatever.
I remember the line that the movement is you and all that. And,
yeah. So he's the only one that I think
you.
Right now is he's the only one that's a Super Skrull. He's seeing it in action, and he's going to build some more. But no one else has done it. She's going to destroy the machine. But the one thing that's going to happen about all the ones that's out there is that she's going to end all the fracking pods. She's going to release all of them. But what I'm thinking is going to happen is all of them are like in plain sight are all going to turn into Skrulls. They all turn into Skrulls, and then they going to know we have a problem. Like when she going to that fracking pod area.
Yeah.
So if there was, like, they're going to not be.
What do you mean? Like you mean they're all going to turn into Skrulls? You mean
they're going to go back to their Skrull form?
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's going to end up. She's going to pull the plug, right? Whatever that means.
Because of the connection. The people hooked up to the goofy looking machines. Yeah.
So they're not going to have the memories. They're going to have that. They're going to be in their Skrull form. So now it's going to be us against Skrulls kind of situation. Yeah. So whatever happens with some of the other ones and what that means, if it's going to be government stuff, whatever it is. Because it only seemed like, even though they saying we got 1 million Skrulls, it only seemed like it's 8.
Yeah, right. They say 1 million, right? Because that means it's 8. That's what I'm saying. It's some Skrulls out there that don't have no idea about the plan. They just
They just
out there buying groceries. They selling. They going to Whole Foods. They like grapes and
some vegans.
Oh, we got an invasion.
Yeah,
I'm going to Disney in 3 months though.
Okay, Mission Impossible come out tonight. I'm about to go see that. Like they just doing
really
that. Like, they just living that life. Like they're not doing that. There's only about 8 that's really out here, causing havoc per what we've seen. I think she's going to like expose them and expose what it's going to be like. It was this major plan, but the major plan was really only executed by like 8 people, right?
It can be taken down by taking out these 8. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think that's what's going to, like, her ending the pods and destroying the whole pod thing. Right?
Okay, so do you think we know episode 5 is going to be the biggest episode of the season? They always do that. So do you think episode 6 is going to like literally? Do you think they're going to resolve most of this in episode 5, and then episode 6 is going to be about some type of agreement and promise? Some, or like you said, with the fallout with the president, but also is this 6-episode series going to end with some type of agreement from the Skrulls that they're not going to invade ever, that they're going to wait this out, and because they got that 8 people, that 8-man faction out. Like you said, that faction seemed like it's like 8 people. Is it going to end where they like, we got them 8 people out of the way, here's our promise, our treaty, that we'll never invade, that we'll wait for the planet, because we know in Captain Marvel, Fury got something going on up his, and we know Captain Marvel will come back eventually, but we know Fury he never says, I can't find y'all a planet. He just hasn't gotten on the planet yet, minus the 10 years. The question I'm asking is, do you think at the end of this series it's going to end with negotiations with the remaining Skrulls, Indian lady being included, and whoever survives, whoever was on the other side, Talos included, does this end with them negotiating with the Skrulls on a peace treaty? Because Gravik gone, if he gone by then, does it end that way where they making some type of agreement with the remaining Skrulls? Not to jump the, you know what I mean?
No. That's a good question. That's a good question. I got them actually finding them a planet.
You got them finding them a planet.
I think they're gonna find a planet. Like you got y'all. Okay, we've done this work. My science guy. We've done this work, and you're my science guy. We've done this work. It's going to be all of a sudden there was a habitable planet. Even if it's like I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think this is going to be the case, but something to that effect, where like whether Guardians of the Galaxy related, something like that for Action Nova, something like we know habitable planets.
Yeah, far away from us, by the way.
Because why the hell would Danvers know? But but
Danvers ain't no. Danvers is an engine. She's a walking.
She was a weapon, man. She was right. She was a motor.
She was never meant to
motor. Like she was never get there, but I don't know.
She wasn't a navigator. Yeah,
she wasn't built.
She was a pilot, but she wasn't.
She was a tool.
Yeah.
So like just a powerful tool. Yeah. But like I think what's going to happen is, especially because they built this. Like think about when we see the Marvels and when we saw at the end of No Way Home or No Far From Home. Yo, they got an elaborate system up there, man. Yeah. That shit look nice. Yeah. Like Fury's on vacation while not on vacation.
Yeah.
Let's get to work. Like he was all right. You get what I'm saying? They got an elaborate system.
They got something going on.
They done sent Monica up there. They doing all right in terms of like, so by the end of this, for the remaining population, because they can't stay. I don't think it end well from them from a standpoint of like what Talos was saying. We can go ahead and get a mate. We can get a plan. And none of that, and we can get amnesty and all that.
Yeah,
that shit ain't gonna happen because they didn't infiltrated way too many important parts. They took the British Prime Minister, right? Mm-hmm. Like British Prime Minister. They in the U.S. government is Rhodey. Like Rhodey gonna have fallback for this. I don't know how deep they gonna go, but I'm saying like they took Rhodey. Rhodey was in front of all them talking about he gonna carpet bomb Slovakia.
Yeah, he did say that.
Like, I don't know, it might have been Romania. I don't know, but you get my point. I think what's gonna happen is they're gonna have to leave, but magically either sword, right? I don't even think they got to the point where it's sword yet. I think what was up there was the one before sword. Like what Nick Fury was doing, it ultimately becomes like sword. I forget what they called it, but I say all that to say between that or even using some of the other MCU tools, like in collaboration with Rocket. I'm not saying that's going to be the case. I'm not calling that, but something to that effect was like, yo, we've been able to navigate somewhere where y'all a habitable planet that y'all can be at. We figured it out. Can't be Earth though. I don't think they're gonna be able to stay on Earth. Nah. I don't even think they have to go because of what's going to transpire. And then when she pulled, and this is my theory, when she pulled the plug on the fracking pods, somebody gonna be sitting there and was like, "Oh, you're the Prime Minister of Canada." Yeah, I don't know if they got a Prime Minister. I can't remember now, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you're the president of this. You're the such and such of that. Yep, we a million deep, and we only got like 1,000 people in this radiation camp.
It's like
y'all all over. Yeah, it was like think about the Wakandans when they was all out. Like we got. They didn't even know such as Killmonger's father was in Oakland, right? They're gonna have all that kind of stuff where it was like we got people everywhere, and she gonna expose them because like especially for them because I think they can assimilate you right in your face, right? They could become you, but to be able to come you with all your memories and your mannerisms and all that, you got to be in the pod. And I think she gonna destroy the pod shit, and that's gonna whatever they thought that Talos thought that was gonna be is gonna be like, nah, y'all gotta go. But all of a sudden, magically, someone found them a planet, but it ain't gonna be Carol. Yeah, but let's move on. Let's move on. Let's like I don't know if we want to talk about what we think gonna happen in episode 5. I think we know what's gonna happen in 5. Where we're gonna have this with all roads has been leading up to Gravik and Fury, and probably some note that we saw. Fury should have noticed that Gravik was gonna turn into this, right? Like we're gonna have this flash because it's all been about flashbacks, and the flashbacks have been pretty dope.
One of the best parts of the show.
The flashbacks
argue that
really
the
good.
Strength of the show is in the flashbacks.
I
also wanted to say this though. I wanted to say this, man. My bad.
No.
I want to say, man, this is my favorite show that they produced so far, by far. We was really into WandaVision. Like WandaVision did a great job going back and forth, man. But we knew the other shows were having problems. Like We knew Hawkeye was having problems. This ain't working out the way we thought it was gonna work out. Yeah, up until this. Up until this, so
everything up until this
has been pretty good, man. This has been solid, and being honest, it did it in a roundabout way, but it's really everything that we kind of suspected it to be, just in a maybe a slightly different way than we thought it was gonna be. But even my least favorite episode, even looking back on that now, like, oh, it was a scroll. You know, that was Rhodey as a scroll. Like, yeah, they did sound different because he was having a conversation with a different Rhodey. So even that brings that episode back for me more to where I'm like, I like this show. I like the show. You know what I mean? It's not perfect. Got a lot of imperfections, but I like this show. I've enjoyed it. I'm saying that, and I've never and go back to everything in between. Other than WandaVision, I haven't. I won't put words in your mouth, but I feel like we ain't really said that about any of the other shows before episode 5.
Especially at this point. We'll see what episode 5 bring. I think we're going to get it's going to be epic.
Yeah, I think it's going to be epic, man. I think it's going to be one of the best episodes we see this season.